Hey, deep divers. Ready for a deep dive? A little different today.
Different how so?
Instead of articles and research papers, this time we are diving into a book.
Oh, a book, huh?
A brand new one, actually.
Yeah.
It's called AI Algorithmic Age, a blueprint for growth.
Catchy title. And it's launching really soon, March 24, 2025.
Wow, that's just around the corner.
It is. You can find it on Amazon, so mark those calendars.
I'll be getting my copy for sure. And you know what really grabbed my attention? It wasn't just the title. It was the promise of a guide to understanding how AI is reshaping our world.
Ah,
And not just in some distant future kind of way, but like right now.
right. And how we can actually do something about it.
Exactly.
This book, it's not your typical tech manual. It's more about navigating the AI landscape, thriving in it even. The author, Muammar Lone, he really wants readers to feel empowered.
Empower. That's a great word for it. So it's less about like the nuts and bolts of coding and more about understanding how to live in this algorithmic age. Is that what they're calling it now? The algorithmic age?
Yeah, that's actually a key point the book addresses. It breaks down those complex ideas into concepts that everyone can understand.
Well, thank goodness for that, because even I get a little lost with all the AI jargon sometimes.
Yeah.
So this algorithmic age, it essentially refers to the period we're in right now where algorithms, and especially those powered by AI, are influencing our decisions, our experiences, even our opportunities.
That's a really good way to put it.
So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What are some of the biggest takeaways from AI algorithmic age? What's got you so excited about this book?
There are a lot of themes the book explores, but one that really stood out to me is this idea of AI's transformative power. It's not just about automating jobs, it's about unlocking possibilities that we couldn't have imagined before. Like, take healthcare, for example.
Yeah, okay, healthcare.
AI is being used to personalize treatments, analyze medical images with incredible accuracy, and even predict disease outbreaks.
Hold on, predict disease outbreaks. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
Hmm.
But it's becoming a reality thanks to AI and machine learning. The book has these really cool real-world examples like that showing how AI is already having a tangible impact.
Okay, so AI transforming industries, pushing boundaries, that's exciting. But I have to ask, who's this book really for? Is it just for tech geniuses and data scientists, or can regular people like me, who still struggle to program their DVR, can we get something out of this?
Oh, absolutely. The author, he wrote this book with a broad audience in mind. He sees business leaders using it to integrate AI into their strategies, policymakers grappling with ethical guidelines, students preparing for an AI-driven job market.
Wow, that is a wide range.
It is. It really is. For anyone who wants to understand how AI is changing the world and how they can adapt and thrive in this new landscape.
I think what I find most interesting is this idea of the book being a blueprint. It's not just understanding AI, it's about using that understanding to make informed decisions, develop new skills, and shape the future.
You got it. It's not just theoretical, it's practical. Equipping readers with the tools and knowledge to make informed decisions about AI in their personal and professional lives.
So it's not about being a passive observer, it's about becoming an active participant.
Exactly. The book really emphasizes that we all have a role to play in shaping how AI develops and how it's used. It encourages readers to think critically about the ethical implications, to ask tough questions, and be part of the conversation.
Now that's empowering. It's not just adapting to change, it's about becoming a change maker.
And that's where the usefulness and applications of this book really come in. It doesn't just tell you about AI, it shows you how to apply that knowledge.
Okay, you've got me hooked. Can you give me a little sneak peek at some of the ways the book helps readers actually use this information?
Yeah.
What are some practical applications?
One area it focuses on is developing what it calls AI complementary skills. So these are skills that humans are really good at, skills that can work alongside AI rather than being replaced by it. Things like critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving.
Wait, AI complementary skills.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly.
Sure. So it's this idea that we should focus on developing skills that work well with AI's strength instead of fearing that AI will replace us. For example, AI might be great at analyzing massive amounts of data, but it still struggles with things like communication or understanding emotions.
Right. Things us humans are pretty good at.
Exactly. And that's where our skills become even more valuable in an AI-powered world.
So it's like finding that sweet spot where humans and AI can work together, each leveraging their unique strengths.
Precisely. And the book gives practical advice on how to do that, how to develop those skills, and position yourself for success in the job market.
This is fascinating. It sounds like this book is generating a lot of buzz, and I can see why. It's not just about understanding the technology, but also about how it impacts us as individuals and how we can harness its power to create a better future.
It is, and that's just scratching the surface. We haven't even touched on the book's deep dive into AI's global footprint, the key players shaping the AI landscape, or the fascinating case study of India's unique approach.
Okay, now you're really making me want to read this book.
hmm
It sounds like there's so much more to uncover.
There's a lot more to dive into.
Well, listeners, it sounds like we have a lot more ground to cover with this book.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. We'll be right back after a quick break to delve deeper into AI algorithmic age. Hashtag TPS, The Deep Dive, episodes 2025-0318, part 2 of 3.
One thing I really appreciate about this book is it doesn't just talk about AI in this abstract way. It uses real-world examples to show how AI is already being used across different fields.
Oh, I love that. I'm a big fan of those aha moments when you see how a concept is actually being applied.
Yeah.
What kind of examples are we talking about?
Well, it covers a really broad range of sectors, from healthcare to transportation to even the creative arts. Like, did you know AI is being used to compose music?
Wait, really? AI writing music?
Yeah, there's a whole section on AI-generated music and how it's changing our definition of creativity.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, can an algorithm really be creative? That's a pretty deep question.
It is, and the book dives into those questions, exploring the ethical and philosophical implications of AI's role in creative fields.
I bet that sparks some interesting debates.
It definitely does,
Yeah.
but it's not all about art and music. AI is making a huge impact in more practical areas, too, like healthcare.
Oh yeah, let's talk more about AI in healthcare. That's always fascinating.
Well, one example that really stood out to me was how AI is being used to diagnose skin cancer.
How does that work?
Imagine taking a picture of a mole on your phone, and an AI algorithm analyzes it and tells you whether it's cancerous or not with a high degree of accuracy.
Wow, that's amazing. And a little bit scary at the same time.
Right.
I mean, it's a big responsibility to put on an algorithm, but if it can save lives, that's incredible.
It is, and that's the thing with AI. It has the potential to do so much good, but it also comes with these risks and challenges that we have to think about carefully.
It definitely makes you think about all the different ways AI is being developed and used. And who's driving all of this? Who are the key players shaping this technology?
It's definitely a global phenomenon. The book looks at the roles of different countries and regions that are becoming major players in the AI landscape.
So it's not just a US versus China kind of thing.
No, not at all. While they're definitely at the forefront, the book also highlights the contributions of Europe with their focus on ethical AI development and emerging AI hubs like India, Canada, and Israel, each with their own unique approaches.
I'm really intrigued by this section on India as a case study. What makes their approach so unique?
India is really interesting because they have this huge potential in tech, but they also face some really big challenges like poverty and a lack of infrastructure in some areas.
So they're dealing with a lot of the same questions about AI and ethics, but with this added layer of complexity.
Exactly. And they're really focusing on how AI can address some of those pressing social and economic problems.
Can you give me an example?
One cool example is how AI is being used in agriculture. AI systems are helping farmers optimize their crop yields, predict weather patterns, and even connect directly with buyers, which increases their profits.
So it's about using AI for practical solutions that can make a real difference in people's lives.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting about India's approach. It's not just about advancing technology for the sake of it. It's about using AI as a tool for social and economic progress.
That's a great point. It sounds like they're really focused on responsible AI development.
They are. The book talks about how India is working towards what they call responsible AI that's ethical, inclusive, and aligned with their values.
I like the sound of that responsible AI, but what does it actually look like?
It involves things like making sure AI systems are transparent and accountable, that they're not biased, and that they're used in a way that benefits everyone.
That makes sense. But how do you actually put that into practice?
Well, the book goes into some practical considerations, like developing ethical guidelines, investing in AI education, and creating regulations that promote innovation while also protecting against risks.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
It is, but the book really emphasizes that it's possible to develop AI in a way that's both beneficial and responsible.
You know, I think that's something I'm taking away from this conversation. It's easy to get caught up in the hype or the fear around AI, but this book seems to offer a more balanced and nuanced perspective.
It does. It acknowledges both the amazing potential of AI and the real challenges that come with it. And it emphasizes that we have a choice in how all of this unfolds.
That's empowering. It means we're not just along for the ride. We can actually steer things in the right direction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about shaping the future of AI on a global scale, but also about how we as individuals can navigate this new landscape.
And that's where the book's advice on AI literacy comes in.
Exactly. It's about understanding how AI works, its limitations, and its potential impact on our lives.
Okay, so AI literacy. What does that mean exactly? Does it mean I have to learn how to code?
Not necessarily. It's more about having a basic understanding of AI concepts, being able to critically evaluate information, and knowing how to use AI tools effectively.
So it's about becoming informed and empowered users of AI instead of just being passive consumers.
Exactly. It's about taking control of our relationship with AI.
One thing I've been thinking about a lot lately is how algorithms shape our online experiences. Like it feels like we're constantly being bombarded with personalized ads and recommendations, and it's hard to know what's real and what's being manipulated by some algorithm. Does the book talk about this at all?
It definitely does. There's a whole section on navigating the algorithmic age.
Okay, hold on. Navigating the algorithmic age. What does that even mean?
It's about understanding how algorithms work, how they filter and personalize information, and how to navigate this online world that's increasingly driven by algorithms.
So it's not just about knowing they're there, but about being smart enough not to be completely controlled by them.
Exactly. It's about being aware of the information we consume, being critical of what we see online, and making conscious choices about how we engage with technology.
It sounds like we need a whole new set of skills for this algorithmic age.
We do, and the book offers some really helpful tips for developing those skills.
I'm all ears. What are some things we can do to navigate this world more effectively?
One thing the book emphasizes is being careful about the information we consume. It encourages us to get information from different sources, to be critical of headlines, and to look for different perspectives.
So it's about being more proactive and thoughtful about the information we come across online.
Exactly. It's about being an active participant in shaping our own online experience instead of just passively accepting whatever the algorithms give us.
I like that. It's about taking back some control. Another thing the book talks about is being aware of our own biases. Our own biases. How do those come into play?
Well, algorithms can reinforce our existing biases by showing us more of what we already agree with. This can create these echo chambers where we only see information that confirms what we already believe.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it that way. So it's not just the algorithms themselves, but also how our own biases can work with those algorithms to create a distorted view of the world.
Exactly. That's why it's so important to be aware of our own biases, to look for different perspectives, and to be willing to question our own assumptions.
So it's like we need to become these online detectives, constantly questioning what we see and trying to understand the algorithms and biases at play.
It's definitely a shift in how we think, but the book really makes a strong case for why this kind of critical thinking is so important in the algorithmic age.
You know what I'm realizing? This book isn't just about AI. It's about how AI is making us rethink our relationship with technology and information in general.
That's a great point. It's about understanding that technology isn't neutral. It's shaped by human choices and values. And it's our responsibility to make sure those choices and values are aligned with the kind of future we want.
That's a big responsibility. And it makes me think about this whole idea of digital identity. It feels so abstract and overwhelming. Does the book offer any guidance on how to navigate that?
It does. There's a whole section on creating what the book calls a purpose-driven digital identity.
A purpose-driven digital identity. What does that mean?
It means being intentional about how we present ourselves online and creating a digital presence that reflects our values, our goals, and our aspirations.
So it's not just about having a cool Instagram profile or getting a lot of followers. It's about something more meaningful.
Exactly. It's about using our digital platforms to connect with others, to share our passions, to support causes we care about, and to make a positive impact.
It's like we're all becoming authors of our own digital stories, and we get to choose what kind of story we want to tell.
I love that analogy. And the book gives some great advice on how to craft that story, how to create a digital identity that's authentic and meaningful.
Okay, I'm really curious now. What are some of those tips for creating a purpose-driven digital identity?
Well, one of the first things the book suggests is to define our values and goals. What do we believe in? What kind of impact do we want to make once we know that we can start shaping our online presence in a way that reflects those values?
So it's like creating a mission statement for our digital lives.
Exactly. It's about being thoughtful about what we share, the groups we engage with, and the platforms we use.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about using our digital presence to make our voices heard and contribute to the kind of world we want to see.
Exactly. And the book emphasizes that this isn't about self-promotion. It's about using our digital platforms for positive change.
I love that. It's about recognizing that we all have the power to make a difference, even in the digital world. But it's easy to get overwhelmed by how big the internet is and all the noise out there. How can we make our voices heard?
That's where the book's advice on building authentic connections comes in. It encourages us to focus on building real relationships with people who share our values and interests.
So it's about finding our tribe online.
Exactly. It's about finding those communities where we can connect with like-minded people, share ideas, support each other, and work together to create positive change.
That's such an important message.
Yeah.
Reminds us that even in the digital age, human connection is still crucial.
It is. And the book really emphasizes that point. It's not just about the technology, it's about how we use it to connect with each other and make a difference.
I'm starting to see why this book is called AI Algorithmic Age, a blueprint for growth. It's not just about understanding AI. It's about using that understanding to grow as individuals, as communities, and as a society.
You got it. It's about recognizing that AI isn't just a technological force, it's a human one, and it's up to us to shape its development and make sure it serves humanity.
You know, as we've been talking about this book, I've been struck by how optimistic and empowering it is. It's easy to get caught up in all the negative predictions about AI, but this book offers a more hopeful and proactive perspective.
I agree. The book doesn't ignore the challenges and risks of AI, but it ultimately presents a vision of a future where AI can be a force for good.
And it shows that we all have a role to play in shaping that future.
Exactly. It's a call to action to become informed and engaged citizens of the algorithmic age.
This has been a fantastic conversation. I'm so glad we had the chance to dive into this book today. It's given me a lot to think about, and I'm definitely going to recommend it to everyone I know.
Me too. It's a must-read for anyone who wants to understand the world we're living in and the world we're creating.
Well, listeners, there you have it. AI Algorithmic Age, a blueprint for growth. It's a guide to understand this exciting and transformative world of AI. And the best part is it's launching soon. You can grab a copy on Amazon starting March 24, 2025.
Definitely check it out. It's a game changer.
That's it for our deep dive today, folks. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the world around you. Hashtag TTS, the Deep Dive episode 2025-03-18, part 3 of 3.
You know, as we're wrapping up our deep dive into AI algorithmic age, one thing that really sticks with me is the book's focus on India. I've always been fascinated by India's rise as a tech hub, but I never really thought about its role in the AI landscape. What surprised you most about India's approach to AI?
I think what really struck me was just how many different ways they're using AI. We talk about agriculture, but the book also goes into how AI is being used to improve healthcare in rural areas, to personalize education, and even to make government services more efficient.
It seems like they're really committed to making sure AI benefits everyone, not just a select few.
Yeah.
I'm curious, did any particular story or example from the India case study really stand out to you?
Yeah, actually, there's this one passage that talks about how they're using AI-powered chatbots to provide legal aid to women in rural villages who might not have access to lawyers otherwise.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. How does that work? Well, these chatbots are programmed to understand local languages and customs, which makes legal information a lot more accessible. And it empowers these women to navigate what can be really complex legal issues.
That's a fantastic example of how AI can be used to really make a difference and level the playing field.
It really is. It shows how AI can be a powerful tool for social good. And it ties back to the book's overall message of using AI to create positive change.
So we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about the key themes of the book, the practical applications, the global landscape, and of course that fascinating case study of India. But as we wrap up, what's the one big takeaway you want listeners to remember from AI Algorithmic Age? What's that nugget of wisdom that you hope will stay with them?
For me, it's that we're not powerless in the face of this AI revolution. We have the ability to shape how AI is developed, how it's used, and ultimately what kind of future it creates.
That's such a powerful message. It's easy to feel like we're just along for the ride when it comes to technology. But this book reminds us that we have a choice, we have a voice, and we have a responsibility to shape the future we want.
Exactly. It's a call to action to become informed, engaged citizens in this new age of AI.
Well said. Well, listeners, I think that's a perfect note to end on. It's been a pleasure diving into AI algorithmic age with you today, and I hope you've all found it as thought-provoking as I have.
It's been a great conversation.
And just a reminder for anyone who wants to learn more AI algorithmic age, A Blueprint for Growth launches on Amazon on March 24, 2025. So be sure to check it out if you're interested in exploring this fascinating world of AI and learning how you can be a part of shaping its future. That's all for our deep dive today, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay curious.